Many illustrators don't promote their portfolio enough because they're scared of being too pushy or possibly annoying, but I suspect that most of you aren't being pushy at all, and by being afraid of promoting your work regularly and enthusiastically, you're basically invisible, which is a much bigger problem. I hear this all the time from illustrators that they don't want to annoy art directors or come across as desperate, and that is absolutely valid. Of course, you don't want to do that. But most illustrators aren't anywhere near annoying anyone because all you're doing is sending a polite email every now and again. Think about it from a client's perspective. They're busy, they've got deadlines, they've got plenty of other things to get annoyed about and stress them out. An email from you every 6 months is not annoying at all. It's just an email. Over the last several years working as an agent, we'd get 100 emails a week from illustrators. Some weren't relevant, some weren't ready, some were badly written or not well thought out. But I can't say I've ever been annoyed by an artist sending their work. And sometimes, more than you might think, an artist sends their work at the perfect time for the right project. Maybe they look at your email, maybe they don't. Maybe it's good timing when they're actually looking for illustrators, but it's probably not. They'll give it a glance and move on to the next important task they have to do that day. So while you're worrying about your email and which images you've included and whether you've said the right thing from your desk, they're probably not giving it much thought at all. If they never hear from you again, you get forgotten. It's only when they see your work regularly that you actually stick in their mind and they think of you when a suitable project comes along. So let's flip it around. What if, instead of worrying about being too pushy, you gave yourself permission to be a bit more pushy? Your perception of what pushy is probably not exactly accurate. To you, it seems like a big, important step. To everyone else, it's just an email, or just a LinkedIn post, or just an Instagram post. They can like it or reply to it if they want, or they can simply ignore it. From the outside, it doesn't look pushy at all. To a client, it just looks like you're being consistent, and that is a good quality. They see your name pop up every few months in their inbox. They see your posts on LinkedIn and maybe come across your Instagram too. You're not spamming them. You're just promoting your work, something that every business does. The illustrators you look up to and follow online, the ones who work with great clients and have loads of fans and followers, they don't hide their work. They got comfortable showing up and putting themselves out there. If you're respectful, relevant to the clients you contact, and professional, you can and probably should promote yourself more than you think. The only way you're going to be remembered when that perfect project comes along is to show up more than once. So instead of inadvertently being invisible out of politeness, aim to be visible in a professional way. That's not pushy, that's smart. Think about other industries, something like Domino's pizza. Not something you want to eat every day, right? But over the course of 6 months, you'll probably see an ad on TV, maybe on social too, even at the cinema, and you'll likely see their delivery riders out and about with the branding on their bags. Then you'll probably get a flyer posted through your door every few months. When you're in the mood for a takeaway, a little bit too often in my house, Domino's is never far from your mind because you've probably seen them passively or actively advertising in the last couple of weeks. If they didn't do any of that, you'd forget about them and they'd be invisible. If you got flyers through your door every week, sure, that would be annoying. But usually they're posting things like vouchers and deals, things that could actually be useful to you. Okay, so how do you promote yourself without crossing that line into actually being annoying? Here are a few simple tips to keep in mind. Rule 1, be relevant. Don't blast your whole portfolio to every client. Think about what they like and can actually use. Send projects that are relevant to the kinds of projects that that client regularly works on. Emailing a food magazine? If you've got nothing food related to send, they're probably not going to be interested. If you're emailing a publisher, you probably want some book covers in there. If your portfolio isn't relevant to the client that you're emailing, you're wasting their time and yours. Rule 2, be brief. Chances are, if you send a big old block of text in your email, that client isn't going to have time to read it. Say who you are, what you do, and what you want. Keep your emails short, focused, and let the images do the talking. Rule 3, be respectful. Following up on an unanswered email once is fine. Following up 4 or 5 times in a row is too much. Take the hint. If you don't get a reply after the first follow-up, it probably means it's not the right time or they're not interested right now. But your next email, a few months later, might be just the thing they're looking for, so don't let it put you off. Rule 4, be consistent. The goal is to show up regularly. Not so often that you're bombarding them with monthly updates, but not so infrequently that they forget who you are. every few months is fine. Think about a brand you like. You don't buy something from them every time you see one of their ads, but you remember them because you see them regularly. You're not trying to close a deal with every email you send. You're just putting something out there that helps people remember you. When the time is right, your name is already in that client's head. If you follow those rules, you can promote your work confidently. You'll come across professional and proactive, not pushy. More practically, here are a few more tips on promoting your portfolio. Share your work on social media regularly. Occasional posts will rarely get the reach that you want. Those platforms want to see people being consistent and posting regularly. It's not easy to do because you can only create new illustrations so fast. So you have to find ways to create content on a regular schedule without burning yourself out. Post new work, post old work, post mock-ups, post behind the scenes and sketches, etc. Post some content for clients and post some content for artists. Post the same work in different ways. Carousels, written content, case studies, process breakdowns from sketch to final. Get creative with it and don't worry about annoying people. Check out this video if you want more ideas on what to post, but chances are if you post your latest project in one format, most of your followers won't see it. So turn the same project into 3 different formats and post them over the course of a few weeks. You can create a lot of content from one illustration. Email art directors with updates. Every 2 to 3 months, send a short update email with some new and relevant work. That's enough to remind them you exist and show them something that might be useful to them. If you don't have anything new to show in that 3-month period, then maybe you shouldn't email them until you do. Otherwise, you may actually be showing them that you haven't made any progress since you were last in touch. Follow up on unanswered emails. If you don't get a reply, send a polite follow-up a week or 2 later. Maybe they were on holiday or out sick. Sending a follow-up is a normal thing to do in the professional world. Build a simple newsletter. Check out Pencil Booth for a simple image-focused newsletter you can set up for people who want to follow your work. Don't add anybody who hasn't given you permission, but you can ask people if you can add them to your mailing list. Find more reasons to promote your portfolio. Every time you refresh your website and add new work, post about it. Maybe you create some seasonal themed work for Christmas or Thanksgiving, post about it and send it to clients. Just had a new project published, post about it. Working on a personal project, post about it. You get the idea. Here's the big mindset shift I'd like you to make. Promoting your portfolio isn't about bugging people, it's about helping them. Clients who hire illustrators want to see illustrations. It's literally part of their job. When you share your work, send an update or follow up on an email, you're not annoying them, you're potentially making their life easier. You're saying, hey, here's a style that might fit your next project. That's useful to them. But they're probably not looking for new illustrators all the time. An art director at a magazine might only be actively looking for new artists once a month, but it's part of their job to keep an eye open for creatives who could be a good fit for the magazine in the future. You'll never time it exactly right, but that's why the regular contact is important. You get more chances to show up at the right time. Sharing your work is a generous act. It means you present something to the world that they might like and might be able to use. It means they won't miss out on a great new illustrator when they actually need one. Keeping your creative work to yourself isn't helping anyone. So stop worrying that you're being too pushy. Chances are you're nowhere close. Instead, focus on being consistent, respectful, and helpful. That's what good promotion looks like. If you want more specific tips on how to structure your emails, check out this video. See you next time.